Welcome back. Another episode of your favorite podcast, the Ultimate Intimacy Podcast, with your favorite host, Amy, and her less likable co-host, Nick. So welcome back to the podcast, Austin. Always great to have you on.
I'm pretty
Thank
sure
you.
people listen because of Nick, and
No.
now they listen because of
Those intros are what catches them.
What
you
what I love
never
on
know what you're gonna get
what
from
I
me.
love about Friday is I don't have to hardly do any talking. I can just sit back and take in all the wisdom. It's the Tuesday
Wisdom.
episodes that I gotta
I know Nick got off the last one that we did with him. He's like, I need to be a better man.
I really did.
Me too. Me too.
Oh,
Knowing and doing, it's a conflict,
Everybody can be
right?
better, right? Okay. This was my idea for this episode today, and it was on superpowers. I know we've already talked about this. We did our own podcast on this a few months ago, but we both have some superpowers in our marriage, okay? Superpowers.
Yeah.
The women have this superpower called initiating and making their husbands feel desired. Okay. I, and I'm going to talk about what the husbands can do, but I saw this video this morning and I wish I would have screenshot it. You know how, like, on some of your reels, you like see something and then all of a sudden it disappears and you're like, oh, I don't know who said that. I had watched it and it said something about um, when a husband says, I'm on it. Gosh, I wish I remembered. He was a pastor. And when a wife like complains like, "Oh, I got to start thinking about dinner," her husband's like, "I'm on it,"
I'm
or
on it.
"I got to run our kid to blah blah blah," and he's like, "I'm on it." Like that, I was thinking about that. I'm like, Nick's really good at that. That is a superpower that men have, is just like reading the room and being like, I'm on it. Like when something's broken, I'm on it. And then that stops the whole nagging and less criticizing and that whole issue that comes up in marriage, right?
I'm a stud when it comes to
So,
that stuff.
do you agree that like initiating's our superpower? Like
Oh,
I'm
totally.
on it. I don't
Yeah.
want to steal that from that guy. I wish I knew who it was so I could give him credit. But same kind of thing, like just doing it without having to be asked. Like I think that's a superpower that husbands have that women just like, oh, he's so great, you know? So I wanted to kind of jump into that, like why that is a superpower to women, that when husbands do that, and why initiating me. And I know they're kind of separate, but I feel like the more I thought about it, they kind of go hand in hand. Because, like our last episode we talked about with emotional connection, when a husband's like reading the room and he sees something needs to be done and he's like, I'm on it, and she doesn't even have to ask, like that is like so attractive, but it's also so emotionally connecting. And so when wives feel like we talked about already, emotionally connected, and then she finds it in herself, even if she's not in the mood to initiate, which I try to do once in a while. I'm not good at it because I'm never like thinking about it like he is. But like when I do initiate, and we have this conversation all the time, he's like the happiest man in the world. Like I literally think it's a superpower.
When you say I'm on it, that's your superpower.
But what?
That's your
You say
super.
I'm on it.
First you're gonna add that in.
Baby,
Anyways.
I'm on it. All right, I'm on it too.
I wanted to. I
Um,
mean, you're building off of where we were last episode, which, I mean, to the core, what you're speaking of is masculinity and femininity
right,
awakening one another, right?
right.
So, my understanding of masculine energy, like we have to embody it. So it's a beingness, but it's a doing energy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They got to do stuff too. You're doing things even as a mother. So you're embodying, let's call it masculine energy, not masculinity. You're not a man, but masculine energy is the doingness. When a man says, I got it, and you can trust that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You start to trust over time. I know his character. I feel settled and secure here. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have to worry so much. I don't have to think like the mental energy that you talked about, the
Right.
mental load. It allows a woman to rest. Femininity is about presence. It's being, not doing, it's being.
Yeah.
Masculine is more, you got to be it, but you're doing.
Right. Okay.
When a woman is being a woman, okay, yeah, she can go do all the stuff that a man can do. That's not what men want from a woman. Like a man, a man can do the stuff too. What a man wants from a woman is a woman, not a, you know, partner to help build the fence. Like that's nice, we can do that, but I want your presence. I want your love, your affection, your nurturing, your seeing the good in me. And so, right, when you say the female superpower is I know you're tying it to initiating sexuality in part, but that core component is I desire you, not just sexually. Now, that's very powerful for men, but knowing that she wants you. I remember years ago, I would say, I know I'm loved. I want to feel wanted. And yes, sexually, but not just sexually. Do you want me to go on dates with you? Do you want me to partner with you in parenting? Like a lot of men are used to feeling needed. And it's like, hey, you're needed. You do you want me because you like me? And so when
Yeah.
a woman can
Mhm.
help a man feel that, oftentimes that's tied to like I respect you, I admire you, your thoughts matter. When a man feels that, he rises to the occasion,
Mhm.
both sexually and that's not what I meant necessarily, but like, hey, I'll come through. I'll leap tall buildings for you. I'll go slay dragons every day at work, even if I hate my job, if I can come home and like you're present.
Mhm.
But if I'm doing all this stuff and like I still can't reach you, I'm not super motivated anymore.
Yeah, so true.
And the alternative happens too, right?
Mhm.
So thoughts on that?
Yeah. So I was thinking while you were talking, I also saw this other video of this guy that his statement, I don't want to like misword it. His statement was, it is the man's biggest flex to take care of his wife. And he was just saying, he's like, I don't understand a lot of the men nowadays that want the their wife to take care of them. Like, I don't want my wife to work. I don't want my wife. I want to take care of my wife. I want to come home and take care of my wife. Like I'm the leader. I want to take care of my wife in all these ways. Like what's happening to men where they're like want to be taken care of in so many ways. And the more you're talking about that, like that gives a man a lot of confidence when he can take care of his family. And then when she feels like he's taking care of her, she softens. And this whole
Right.
cycle is just so beautiful. And we've lost that. We
Yeah, I
completely
mean,
have lost that.
I
That's where that safety comes in, right?
I smile because, and I'm guilty of this, okay? Like, um, a lot of times it's like the men are not being men; they're being little boys that want to be nurtured by mommy. Okay, I'm, and it's not all men's fault. Like, I mean, there's so much we can get into of men and women not showing up and kids not developing, and then we're still seeking our childhood needs through our spouse. Like, this is a very common thing we see in therapy where it's like you're still trying to get unconditional love. That's a parent thing. That's a marriage is not unconditional love, at least not initially, or you don't get married. We don't just marry anybody, irregardless of conditions. There's conditions. I feel loved by you. We have same values. Like those are conditions. And I love you. And now I choose to get married with you. And then a lot of people are like, we're married and I love me unconditionally. And P.S., I don't ever shower anymore, whatever, right? Like
Mhm.
if you're seeking unconditional love, it probably means you have some unfinished stuff. Be the condition that it's easy for your spouse to love you. I show up. I'm thoughtful. Exactly what we're talking about.
Hmm.
Um, Esther Perel talks quite a bit about this. She interviewed a bunch of couples that report having, they both say, I'm passionate about my spouse, passionate about our marriage, and we have passionate lovemaking, right? And they had to be married, I think, at least like a decade, okay? When you break down all the research, the one core component is they chose it every day. Means that the wife showed up in ways that helped him feel love and cared for and passion. He did the same, right? It's not a I don't make my best effort anymore and you be happy and love me anyway, okay? I do think couples can grow towards unconditional love because conditions change
Hmm.
and they're out of our control. You get dementia, you lose a job. Like now you're in it with whatever the conditions are, because you're committed and you love each other and you love each other through the challenges. But when we let ourselves go and we're like, love me anyway, that's where I feel like, to what you're talking about, I feel like a lot of women I work with I feel like I'm taking care of another child, and men on the flip side will say I feel like I'm taking care of a child. Like she
Hmm.
does whatever she wants, she spends all the money, and I work 60 hours a week. And so I think for a lot of us it's like, how do I step into my best self and present that to my spouse, and they love me for who I'm being, not as like who I'm being as my best, not as my mediocre or
Right.
worst
Hmm.
sometimes, you know.
Well, I think that, yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. I think the reason I picked the word superpower is because we don't realize like how big that is. I don't
Right.
think a lot of like we're talking both sides here. We're not talking like our last episode was a lot about you know, he step it up. Like I want this episode to be like you got to step it up too, women. And I'm like it's hard sometimes like when we're pulled and we're stressed and that high cortisol is killing our sex drive and those kind of things. It's really hard to go initially be like, hey, I really want to make love to you. I'm exhausted. I really don't want to. Do you know what I mean? That's not the first thing on my mind, but it is a superpower. It's a superpower because we're choosing to use it as something to completely benefit our life and our marriage, right? And we do things like I can promise it goes both ways because when he's like, I'm on it, it doesn't mean he's like, I'm so excited to go grocery shopping and write the list today and take care of the meals. A man's not, I mean, we're not excited about that all the time either, but like it goes both ways. Like we're both doing things sometimes and putting on a smile and being like, this is for the marriage. I'm sacrificing because that's what marriage is, right?
Well, I don't watch a lot. I don't watch a lot of superhero movies, but if you look at the common theme in like having a superpower, regardless of what it is, it's typically used to help and serve others, right? It's
Right.
typically used to, I mean, do exactly that,
Mhm.
right? Used for good. And I think so when you refer to a superpower in marriage, that superpower is unselfish. It's used to help your spouse. It's used to, you know,
Well,
that's kind of what I
well,
think.
thinking about the movies, yeah, they go through a lot of crap to use those superpowers, right? And then another one thing I want to say about
Yeah,
that word is
exactly.
they
It's not
got
always easy.
like I like some of the superhero movies. Like there's a few of them that I absolutely love, even though we're not like super big superhero people, but like they get those powers from something happening. Like Spider-Man gets bit, he gets these powers, and they have to learn how to use those powers, and they have to get better at those powers. Like in almost every one of them, right? Like Iron Man, like they have to learn, they have to get better, they get better at using their powers, they learn to control them. It's kind of the same thing like in marriage. Like um we have to it takes practice and that's where like the whole
Yeah.
okay I'm sacrificing I'm learning that it's benefiting the marriage I'm trying to get better at it like the more I realize that really helps him I'm not super good at it but I'm like it is a goal and it's his goal to like you know take care of me and say I'm on it kind of guy like he's really good at trying really good to do that and it means a lot and that's the thing is like if you can take this power realizing okay, and it might look different in your marriage. I'm not saying that's always what a man wants and that's always what a girl likes. Like talk to your spouse and find out what is the superpower that I have that I give you that just makes you feel so loved, right? If we had that conversation and they're like, I'm going to try really hard to be better at that. Like I didn't realize that that one thing meant so much to you. Because the day I told him, I said, I'm acts of service. When you just say, I'm on it, I'm going to take care of dinner tonight. I'm like, oh my gosh, he loves me. Same
Right.
vice
Yeah.
versa when I initiate, right? Like he loves me.
Well,
Right.
it gets to the point where I know that she loves that, so I thrive in trying to do it even more, right? Almost probably to a point where she's like annoyed, like, oh my heck, I can do something, but I know that, she
He
loves
loves.
that, and so I'm like, yeah, I'll run to the store, I'll do this,
Yeah.
That's where I mean so much of I think the journey towards ultimate intimacy is conscious choice, right? And we both have our minds running all the time with different tasks and things. And so what you're describing is a proactive, right? Like I'm thinking about my spouse. How do I show them love today? Okay. One of the challenges couples really do face, I see couples all the time where a guy is really coming through in a multitude of ways, and the woman will say that. She'll say like he's great,
Mhm.
and her emotional needs are met, and it doesn't mean she feels sexual. Okay. A
Right.
lot of women, it's not, hey, you washed the dishes and you served me and now I'm turned on. Like
Yeah,
I would
Yeah.
say a
no.
majority of women don't feel that way. And so again, if a man's taking a conscious effort of like, I'm gonna provide, help around the house, it's not a trade thing. It's like I'm invested. Like I'll get up with the kid and I'll go to work and like I'm in. If you have a partner that's in and you feel satisfied, it doesn't mean they feel satisfied too, because you do have typically differing needs.
Mhm.
And so I do see on the flip side, kind of countering our last thing, I see a lot of situations where a wife will say, "Yeah, he's great," and he'll say, "Our intimacy could be a little better, like a little more." And for her, it's not, yeah, I'm feeling sexual. It's more of, I got to take the same proactive approach because I can tell you most men aren't like, I super love to do the dishes and to spend 10 hours in the yard. Like, I'm doing it, I'm engaged, but that's not, I'd rather watch a ball game or whatever, right? And so being able to see that sacrifice in each other and go, I do have to use consciousness, planning ahead. I do have to learn to like calm my stress or say no to some of the busy opportunities and prioritize my marriage. And maybe you've talked about this before, where a lot of things compete for our attention and our energy. And having that ability to, think with the end in mind, what's my ultimate goal here? I want this marriage just to be good and to stay good. Sexuality and I would say love and desire, proactivity for sure. If a woman understands what that does for a man, like you will have a man that is so devoted and in love with you that he will do a ton of things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Similarly on the flip side, right? What you're talking, a man superpower, like, hey, I'm here, I'm all in.
Yep.
Now, these things aren't foolproof, however. I want to be careful here because,
Yeah, for sure.
right, I do see where individuals have, let's call it some unfinished work, and they're maybe ruled by their emotions or their mind is racing all the time, or it's hard to receive love. So I don't, it's dangerous when we say, hey, women, just show up sexually and he'll meet your needs because all the time that doesn't happen.
Right.
It can awaken it and inspire him, and then you can invite him into that. But it's not, oh, we had sex, now he's magically going to do this. It's more of, I let him know he's desired and loved, and then I still need to ask for certain needs to be met.
Mhm.
Same thing on the flip side, men. Hey, am I meeting your needs? Like, am I showing up? Am I satisfied? And it's not meant to be a trade here. It's not like I'll do this and you, right? It's a love. Do you feel loved? Do you feel cared for? Do you feel prioritized? Cool. I also have some things that would be really meaningful for me. Can we create both, right?
Right. And I'm
And
glad that
so,
you said that because, and I want to just touch back on this isn't a like a all husbands want this, all wives want this. Like
right.
some women are the higher drive, so they're going to feel loved this when he initiates, or you know what I mean? Like it can look at different ways, but it comes down to like how does your what is the superhero power in your marriage, right?
Yeah, and I also love that you brought that up too, because I get so many emails from husbands. They're like, I cook, I provide, I run the kids' places, I do everything, and she doesn't even give me the time of day, right? Thinking
Mhm.
like, why does she not desire me? And I think that is an easy pattern sometimes to fall into. And I'm certainly not sitting here blaming the wives. I can only say the emails I get are a lot from the husbands. And obviously, I don't know really what the husband's like. Maybe he's not the guy that he's portraying. But if you have a good, loving husband that's doing all these things and serving his wife, and a wife has zero desire, she could look at the situation and say, "Man, I'm getting everything I need.
I don't have to do
I don't
anything.
have to do anything, right? Like I'm not being intimate with him, and he's still trying to
Mhm.
do all these things. Why would I change anything?" Or the attitude can be, and we've heard this as well too, is why would I if I don't make him chase it anymore, right? Almost have to chase that.
Mhm.
Is he gonna stop doing these things, right? So it's almost like, we've talked
Mhm.
about this on the podcast too before too, and I want to be a little bit careful, but I think women don't understand the I don't want to say control, but the power they have or the power they hold over their husband with sexual intimacy. They have
Right.
no idea how much, or maybe some of them do, but there's
Right.
so much power there, and a husband is willing to go climb Mount Everest and do
In
anything.
most
In
in all
most,
marriages, not all
and yeah,
marriages,
in
yeah.
good, healthy marriages, um, husbands are willing to do just about anything to connect that way with their spouse. And I think a lot of women know that and unfortunately sometimes use that to,
I kind of
Yeah.
feel like that's a whole nother episode to talk about because it's not always about emotional connection either.
correct.
Sometimes it's a health, it's a perimenopausal, menopause stuff. Like there's a
Right.
lot of things, right? So
And this is important because the conversation can become women need emotional intimacy and men need sexual intimacy. When we're connected to ourselves, men and women want emotional intimacy. Men and women want sexual intimacy. Men and women want spiritual intimacy. Like, why? Like, intimacy is the best.
Yeah.
Why would you not want that with your spouse? So what often happens is both are feeling deprived, and it's like, well, for men, it's oftentimes I'll abandon the emotional if we can have the sexual, and we'll say it's okay. Women will do the flip side. Like we can if we can connect emotionally, I can kind of let right. And so what I see, and this is probably a place we need to talk about, like a healthy marriage, having ultimate intimacy, it requires two people to grow individually and relationally. And that means I'm healthier emotionally, mentally, physically, sexually, and so are you. I see couples all the time that's two good people. That doesn't equal a happy marriage,
Mhm.
right? We need to develop skill sets that very few people come into marriage with. We need to learn to embody our true like essence and start to go, hey, I can be busy all the time. I can be, numbed out all the time. I can be engaged in a bunch of good things. What's the best thing to be engaged in? I tell couples often two things. One, if you're learning to really connect, you don't choose a football game over your spouse, or you don't spend but when the marital things are fulfilled, it's not like you need endless time. It's fulfilled. It's like
Mhm.
we're
Yeah.
great. Yeah, do your thing. Yeah, I'm happy to, if you want to go on a girls trip, whatever. Like, it's not it's not a threat because you're not going without anything.
Yeah.
That's where people start to get controlling of each other, is when they don't get their needs. And I would suggest wants met. Like for me a long time ago, it's like I want to be in a marriage where both me and my spouse are aware of each other's wants, not just base needs. It's like I want what you want. Like I want you to be happy. I don't want to
Yeah.
withhold
Mhm.
anything,
That's great.
right? And
Yeah.
if couples can get to that place, then you're just like, I love you and I want you to have good things. And I tell couples a lot of times when they come in, I say, you guys are playing a mean game of chess, right? Like not mean to each other, but like this is an intense game of chess. You're thinking 7 steps ahead of how you can get something, or oftentimes manipulate, to be honest.
Hmm.
And I say, why don't you just be open and honest with what you want and ask? Do you want to have a great marriage with me? I would like that with you. How are we going to do that together, instead of I'm going to try to figure out and you're going to try to figure out and we're going to like,
Yeah.
right? Like
I think
Right.
it's a team effort.
that's great advice.
Great
I think
spot. Right.
that's great analogy.
And that when you are fulfilling each other's, like you said, needs but wants too, and you're communicating, that's when your marriage becomes super powerful. We'll end right there.
Yeah.
That's it. All right.
No.
Well,
Do you have anything else to say?
no, I
Do
think
you
that
have
was
to add to that?
no, I think that was a great episode, and I think my mind's just spinning, and there's so much more we can talk about. But I do think we ought to do a future episode with Austin on what we talked about previously with,
Mhm.
anyways, which we'll do. But
We have lots of things to talk about. We have
yeah,
a
we do.
list.
That's the great thing.
If you're listening and you want to add to our list, please write us at amy@ultimateintimacy.com. Nick will answer it. You will add your topic to the list. If you have specific questions for Austin or for us, vice versa, just please write us. Let us know.
Yeah, we're almost 500 episodes in, and there's still so many
There's
things,
so
endless
much.
things that we can talk about. So
Yeah.
we appreciate all of you and your support and emailing us. And
Thanks,
yeah,
Austin, for being here again.
Welcome.
Your
Good to
words
be
of
here.
wisdom are amazing.
yeah. Thank you for being here. And as
Thanks
always, we
for having me.
appreciate all of you listening to the podcast. And until next time.